last year. They did, and ended up with the 4 seed out west.
Third quarter action getting rolling right now. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. So on the floor for Houston, Beverly and Harden man the backcourt. Smith out there with Motiejunas. And it's Ariza in the small forward position.
Rockets made it in as the 4th seed last year, but still couldn't find a way past Portland in the first round. Ended up falling to them in 6 games.
Really, though, it was the start of that series that sunk the Rockets as they dropped the first 2. They fought back, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, they couldn't overcome that poor start, Kevin. They did fight back, and it looked like a Game 7 was on the way, but then Damian Lillard, with one of the great shots in NBA playoff history, closed things out in dramatic fashion.
Brought you right out of your chair, didn't it?
Oh, big
Wow.
time. That was a great, great shot he made.
6 on the shot clock. Schroeder kicks to Carroll.
Amari Carroll last season a consistent starter for the first time in his NBA career. Say he really turned the corner with his 3-point shot, providing a great complement to his high energy play.
Brewer is checked in for James Harden. And Brewer kicks to Motiejunas. Throws it up high.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And what a play to make it a close game, a potential momentum builder.
And the basket by Brewer. And Carroll known as the junkyard dog for his hustle style.
Really an athletic energy guy, Kevin. I mean, he can rebound, he runs, he finishes around the rim. Always a hard worker. So no surprise that he's been able to expand his game to be more complete offensively.
High by Scott. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. It's going to be on Josh Smith.
Mike Scott, a second-round pickup for the Hawks. He's gotten an opportunity with their injuries, just about doubled his minutes last season. A consistent offensive threat off the bench. He's improved that 3-point stroke as well.
Jason Terry is checked in for Patrick Beverly. Now a timeout called by Houston. And for Scott, where he still needs to improve is on his defensive side.
Exactly, Kevin. A little more than a speed bump on the low block, and his rebounding numbers fell drastically last season. He's already 26 years of age. His upside, I still think it's there, but not as much as we thought initially.
Atlanta making a switch here. Al Horford, he's checked in for Brand. Millsap comes in for Scott. Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Kent Bazemore. And it's Teagan for Schroeder. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, common wisdom among players is that it's better to be an unrestricted free agent than a restricted one. However, a recent study found that comparable players ended up making more money in restricted free agencies. Teams know they have to overpay to avoid a player's team matching that offer. Evan?
Oh, some good examples from this offseason, Doris. Great job, thanks.
Yeah, the contracts given to Chandler Parsons and Gordon Hayward come to mind. I mean, both were able to command max salary despite not yet being star caliber.
How about that for a response?
They will say they can give the 3 as well as they can take the 3.
It's Terry outside. The Hawks leading.
You know, the Hawks haven't been an elite team, but they do have the longest active playoff streak in the East. They've been the 7 straight postseasons. While they haven't advanced very far, I still think there's something to be said for getting to the postseason 7 years in a row.
Houston making some changes. Joey Dorsey's checked in for Motiejunas. Terrence Jones comes in for Trevor Ariza. And it's Harden in for Jason Terry. Here's Jones. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two. And for the Hawks, with that playoff streak, for a team, Steve, that has missed the playoffs in the 8 seasons prior, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta has shown consistent winning basketball now over the last, 6-7 years. They've shed some of their marquee players, suffered some big injuries, but they've still found a way to remain competitive.
The feed now to Smith. It's rebounded by Paul Millsap. Millsap's got 5 rebounds tonight. Millsap sets the pick for T. Into Millsap. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Hawks will retain possession.
Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play. Heads up defending to deflect it away.
The 11-footer. And a little luck that time, but it drops. That's 10 points for Al Horford.
They haven't been as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. They're playing smart with the lead. I like that. They're being very selective and deliberate in their offense. And that's a good strategy when you're on top.
Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession. Atlanta leading by 5. Teague kicks to Horford. Outside Teague. With the teardrop.
You've got to like what they've been doing down there in the low post, Clark.
I do. I love it. Their rebounding has been outstanding. So important in a tight game.
Korver. Again, the Hawks good for 2.
He's been so reliable again today, Kevin. They need his points, and he's providing them.
And here's Teague. 4th quarter on the court for the Hawks. Millsap at power forward with Horford at center. Teague and Korver in the backcourt. And it's Bazemore at the 3. Here's Beverly. Takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the layup.
Really tough to get that shot off with the size differential there. It's not an individual matchup he's going to win every time, especially in the post.
Very well done. I didn't think he had any business operating down there with the big fellas.
Now here's Millsap. Back to Teague. He feeds it to Korver. Teague gets it to Bazemore. Back to Teague. To the wing on the left. Korver. Good.
You know, with all the shots they've knocked down here in the second half, their field goal percentage has crossed the 50% mark.
Well, and that usually leads to a win. I mean, this is just very efficient offense that we're seeing tonight.
Well, you've got to like the focus that they're showing here in the second half. I see a lot more effort as well. I mean, it's amazing when you lock in mentally and bring some energy and intensity, things can pick up in a positive way for you.
Now here's Beverly. Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Jason Terry, he's checked in for Houston. Kept alive. Rockets trailed by 5. Great D that time from T. And here comes Horford leading the fast break. Back to T. And he banks in the layup.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play it.
Now a timeout called by Houston.
Jeff Teague signed a 4-year, $32 million deal with the Hawks going into last season, and with the departures of some of their other star players, they decided to put the ball in his hands to run their more free-flowing offense, and he delivered in a great way.
Shooting for Houston,
James Harden, he's checked in for the Rockets. Schroeder, he's checked in for Atlanta. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Kevin McHale coaching his team during that break. He actually lit into them pretty heavily, saying, "We're being way too soft on the inside. I'd better start to see some toughness and more shots being challenged. No more easy baskets." Pretty strong words, guys.
Thank you, Doris.
That's his third personal foul.
And Jeff's Teague shooting percentages, Steve, falling quite a bit last season.
Yeah, but he compensated by getting to the free throw line about twice as often. You know, and that's part of expanding your game. You're going to see some improvement in some areas and maybe regression in others, but he's got to just continue to work. He has a chance to be an excellent point guard in this league.
Here's Schroeder. The Hawks working the ball around. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
It's been the story of the game for him. Fortunately, his teammates have bailed him out.
And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. Scoring breakdown for the Hawks.
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half was carried right over into the second.
Well, you've also got to love how aggressively they've taken that ball to the basket and scored off dribble penetration.
Bazemore dishes to Millsap. It's rebounded by Houston. Haniunas has got 7 rebounds in the game. Harden outside to the left wing. Here's Beverly. That doesn't go on the chance to tie. The Hawks leading by 3. Here's Korver. Millsap kicks to Horford. Bazemore hits it from 3-point range.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
And here's Harden for 3. And he gets it to go. Harden got 9 points in the quarter. Atlanta calls timeout. They're up by 3. There's a minute 34 left in the fourth quarter. And the Rockets making a change here. Smith is checked in. Teague is checked in for the Hawks. To the inside. And yes, sir, that one drops.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
I agree. They need more energy in the post, maybe some double teaming. They've got to get their defense in gear.
No good on the 3.
You know, to cut deficits, you got to be making smart basketball plays out there. Taking care of the ball. It's not done by hoisting up bonehead threes like that one.
Here is Harden after the basket by Atlanta. Ariza kicks to Smith. Good work defensively by Horford.
Excellent. Really solid job, actually, by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one.
The 10-footer. And Atlanta again with the bucket.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
41 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Korver. Lets the 3 fly. Harden grabs the miss. Rockets have gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. To the wing right side. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
Difficult to explain that turnover. I mean, I guess he thought he had more room than he did, but he really lost his place on the court.
Beverly, the pass to Harden. His 3-pointers off the mark. The 3 from Korver. Here's Millsap. And he gets it to go.
And tack on a few more points to the lead. Why not? I suppose this is an emphatic showing for this club.
And, Steve, they did it in style. A beat down the entire way.
And so the Hawks take the win. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yep.